welcome to CATtheMinion Patreon. I'm doing this weekly romantic reading, and this week is Twin Flame Week. So instead of doing a reading that I've already made, I decided to sort of mimic the way some other people do readings on YouTube, just to try out the format. So I've made an outline, and I've determined which cards I'm using. So I'm going to have 5 main points here, and I'm going to have 7 cards and charms for each thing. So I'm going to start, and you'll see how this works as I go on. So the first point is you and your counterpart. Right? If you're the DF, this is your DM. If you're the DM, this is your DF. We're looking at your counterpart. I'm not reading for anyone specifically. If the energy that I'm laying out sounds more like you, then that's fine. It might be there to help you figure out what you need to express, if anything, to the other person. Or it might help you determine if your relationship is either not a twin flame or you're in distortion right now. Alright, so the first point is we're going to be looking at their overall soul mission. So for each set, I'm going to get a card off of my phrase deck to give like an overview of what like a topic header underneath this idea. Okay, so I don't want to shuffle around the camera because it's right in front of me, so you're going to hear me shuffling off on the side. Alright. So what is their overall soul mission? Yeah. The princess was at first frightened to see a lion. Interesting. So we have 175 here. So I see 17, I see the star, I see 5, which is a pivot, but I also see 12, the hanged man, or 13, which is death. Or the magician and the chariot and the hierophant. So it's kind of like a princess is usually in the deck where a page would be in the alternate decks. Now this might be, I just hit the camera, this might be the Princess of Wands because we're dealing with the lion, which is Leo energy. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be whichever energy is coming up. But we're looking at this page energy, right? Somebody who's just starting out with 1 after a completion. Because a page can be a 1 or an 11. So we might have a page here. A princess. Someone who's sort of emotive and going with the flow, but isn't really sure of themselves. So I'm at first frightened to see a lion. Okay, so 7 of Wands is Aries in Leo. 5 of Wands is Saturn in Leo. Okay? So we're dealing with a really intense male fire energy. All right, I've been in the dark for a while. I've just woken up for the day, and all of a sudden my eyeballs are being seared. You know, it's like the Gizmo coming in and he's like, "Bright light." So, I mean, it could be somebody who's just setting out who's afraid of either their power or someone else's power. But this is a header for their overall life purpose. So let's look at it a little bit more. So I've got the Work Your Light Oracle. And I'm going to get 3 cards. Came out in the challenge position. Okay. I've got 3 that came out, and I don't like that I saw them, so I'm going to put them back in and see if they come out again. So I only want 2. 2 more cards. I still have a bunch of cards that came out, but I think it's this one. Alright, so these are all coming out in a challenge position. Alright, so we have align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Now, I was thinking that the princess might be looking in a mirror and is scared to see a lion there, and here we have a mirror as well with this young feminine energy that's broken. So here's play, have fun, celebrate, don't be too serious. So here's a sun here, and here's another feminine figure. And we're in emotions because we have this big champagne glass that she's swimming in. And also in a challenge position, mirror, who or what is triggering you? Okay. So I'm looking in the mirror and I see a lion and I'm scared. It's a little bit of the cowardly lion energy. And when I saw Princess and Lion, I did think a little bit of the Wizard of Oz. But let me get the clarifiers here, because the other deck that I'm using for this question is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So again, this is looking at the overall life purpose of this person, and it might just be what they're working on and related to their life purpose for the next couple of weeks. But what's interesting is that there's both masculine and feminine energy at play, and everybody has some of each. Some glows. Where does this? I think this one goes here. No, this is wrong. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one. Okay. The Curse. 14. Breaking down to a 5, which is a pivot or a shift. I also see the number of the Magician. My battery's getting low. I'm going to go until it stops, though. And then I have 4, which is the Emperor number, but I also have 14, which is balance in general. So we have the Curse here, and it looks like the Curse is I'm having trouble being in alignment, and my own shadow scares me, right? I am the princess, but my shadow is the lion. It's always nipping at my ankles and growling when I'm not looking. It's like I want to be the Strength card, but I can't quite get there. So let me look at the Curse here real quick. It's going to help clarify this alignment. The Curse, the Curse, the Curse. Okay. Limiting stories of our ancestors, karma, former lifetimes, negative patterns, disease, destructive force, blockage on our creative energy. So it is having to do with that lack of alignment. Holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. So that would be this funhouse mirror effect here. I'm afraid of the lion, right? I'm afraid of the lines, the ancestral lines, the patterns. It's about releasing karmic legacy, ancestral trauma. Could be past life things as well. It's this idea of you end up clearing up the mirror and aligning yourself when you sort of process the things and you're saying, okay, this happened. I honor that it happened. I don't need to keep reliving it. I can let go of it a little bit and be ready to move on. And that way you don't have to be scared every time a lion pops up to remind you that there's a piece of broken glass in its foot or your foot or whoever's. All right. So Luminous Warrior here on the play card. It says, don't be so serious. Now we have a sun here, and then we have this light here coming in behind this masculine figure here. So we have 32 breaking down to 5, which is a 5 and a 5 here, and then a 5 up there. So we have all these energies that are trying to pivot, trying to shift. Okay. Luminous Warrior is someone who goes into the darkness and sort of wrestles with their own demons to a point where they understand the darkness enough to be able to shine within without having brought a flashlight, essentially. It's like, I'm going to go drown myself in the darkness and learn how to bioluminesce. 32. You just skim this in case there's anything I missed. Oh, it says, since he casts no shadow. So here it's all about working on the shadow. And here it's like, I've resolved my shadow. His power comes not from the sword, but from speaking his truth at all costs. Focus on power, wisdom, and beauty. Now, power is strength. That's that lion again. Intention follows attention. Focus on your positive traits. Feed your light with more light. Until you feel truly empowered. Then there will be little need for action, as you will resolve all situations from within. Right? So it's being able to face things that may have seemed scary at first, but are now not. So I see 5 and 5, and then over here we have 10, the corn, which is growing something abundant. Now it says mirror here, who or what is triggering you. But the thing is that this person's overall life purpose is to be triggered, to deal with that broken mirror so that they can eventually have this abundant growth. They're completing a cycle. And here's the sun and the growth. So let me just skim this. A field of dreams. It says it's time to reap the rewards of hard work and trust, whether those rewards are financial or the kind of prosperity measured in quality rather than quantity. All right. So it has to do with fortune. All right. And I kind of feel like these should be switched. Mirror, warrior, play, and then abundance. So it's unwinding this energy into something positive and creative after first going into what makes them feel broken and then sort of gaining power over their own fears. Because the idea of coming out with strength is that the person, the princess, who was afraid of the lion, sees that it was just angry because it had a thorn in its paw, and once that shard, that curse is removed, there's this ability for shining and playing and having this abundant, radiant experience. Okay, so this is what they're about. Their life purpose is to sort of overcome basically fear of greatness, or fear of being noticed, or fear of their own shadow, or all of the above. All right, so let's get on to the oh, I forgot. Let me put these back for a second because I didn't do the charms. I didn't do the charms. Some charms. Alright, so here we have Honey Badger going the other way, right? So Honey Badger angry, Honey Badger doesn't give a shit. Honey Badger undefeated. But going the other way, it's like, no, I do care about what's going on here. I'm going to take notice when a venomous snake bites me on my face. And now also going the other way, I have a frog here. So I get this idea that I don't think I've gotten this frog before. Now I'm going to be using the animal spirit, the wild unknown animal spirits later in this reading, but this frog in that deck, it has to do with being sort of overtaxed, and to be replenished you need to sort of go into the water, either physically or just to have an emotional break. So they have the frog and Honey Badger and this stop sign over here all sort of reversed. It's like you need to stop saying that nothing is bothering you, and you need to go in and have some kind of an emotional release and fulfillment. Now over here I have this paper crane. Now in the Lenormand, which I'm also going to be using, the crane has to do with things that are repeating, like cycles that you can depend on. But it came out kind of over here, in between the curse and the warrior. It's like this cyclical thing where your fears just come back around like clockwork every time you're ready to, you know, put on your armor and go out and do the day. It's like, just kidding, the curse, and everything just keeps folding in on itself over again. Now over here we have the thermometer. I just heard I got a fever and the only prescription is more cowbell. But it's sort of like gauging the temperature of the situation. It's like you can't keep ignoring the fact that, you know, your room is on fire and you're like, oh, this is fine. You don't need to have all that baggage. You can process it. Now here I have the back of the credit card. This is the details, right? The key, critical, important details coming in here with this mirror. Like, oh, if I'm holding the mirror this way, I can see back there in the stuff that I haven't been looking at. Now over here, the princess is afraid to see the lion. I have the shorts. All right, sometimes this means like flying by the seat of my pants, but it's like I'm coming up short. Like I'm missing something. I don't have enough pants for this journey. So the idea is to be able to overcome this idea of pretending that you don't care about what's going on in your own internal world. So that's what they're working on. Alright, so let's get to the next concept here. Where's my little outline? My handwriting is awful. Okay, so the second thing is, what are they dealing with in their life that has absolutely nothing to do with you? This is the kind of point that most people reading for Twin Flame don't really look into. It's sort of like it's almost like you expect that everything going on in their life, it revolves around you, because you're twin flames, you're mirrors, you're the same people, you're the same soul split in half, and it's all about you and you together, and you're just sort of stuck together like super glue at every point. But it's more like this. They have stuff going on over here that has nothing to do with you, and you have stuff going on over here that has nothing to do with them either. So it's basically like, what's going on over that ain't all about you. And that might be a little bit much for some people, but it's a relevant point. So I'm gonna get a topic card. This is distracting me. I'm gonna stick it over here. Alright. So what are they dealing with that has nothing to do with you? What's on their mind? Why haven't they called you lately? What are they working on? What's the plan, Stan? What's the key, Lee? I want a double. Give me one card for what are they doing that has nothing to do with you. Okay. This is kind of a weird card for this. Although maybe not. Angel Demabia helps you focus on your solar and sacral or sacral chakra. 94. So we have Emperor energy, Hermit energy, breaking down to 13, Death energy, which could be transformation. We also have 4 could be foundational. 9 is sort of almost finished, but then also we have Hermit energy, which is Virgo. We're currently in Virgo as I'm recording this. And we have Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so we have this mercurial energy of some sort of message coming in. Now, it doesn't have to be this angel specifically. That just happened to be like the entry on the page that I looked at was that angel's name. It basically just means your guides or your higher self. Okay? So whatever is going on with this person, they're trying to go in to deal with their solar chakra. They're trying to have some transformation. Now, if you look at what their overall life purpose is with the I'm afraid of the lion, we're dealing with the sun, with Leo, with the solar chakra. So it's like I'm afraid of my own internal drive, and I'm being forced to transform that, and that has like their ability to trust their own life purpose, their own gut directive, doesn't really have anything to do with you. Alright, so let's... What am I doing? Okay, so I'm getting 3 of the Lenormand cards. Gilded Reverie, Lenormand. Well, well, well. Okay. Alright, so we have the well inverted. When it's upright, it's like I'm gonna go deeper and get some more like content. But inverted, it's almost like it's come up. It's like I've got my comeuppance. And we have 41 breaking down to a 5. So there's that 4 number, and I think did one, yeah, 1 came up in the other one as well. 41 breaking down to a 5, which is a pivot. We see a 4 here and a 4 here. And the difference between 4 and 9 is the strength again. And there's a 9 again. So we have 4 and 1 and 9. This is, I can't through the screen. This is the flowers upside down, but we have the Queen of Swords inverted as well. So we have a 13 energy here again, but we have this distortion in communication. I'm a little bit more off with your head instead of I love you. And then we have the dice inverted. Now, there was the directive for their life to play. Now, what's interesting is that 2 of these cards are bonus cards in the deck, which means that they don't have a card associated with them. They're more dealing with major arcana energy. But the dice is like, I'm taking a chance. right? But here it's like I'm not taking any chances. And instead of 4 and 9, I have a 9 with a 3, but if I add the 3 and the 1 together, I have 4 and 9 again. So we're going through these cycles where it's like the Hanged Man energy. I'm hanging out, I'm not really sure what to do. I see 12 inverted. That tells me the Hangman is sort of getting a wake-up call, but also Neptune retrograde, which we're in right now. So we're dealing with this change in consciousness that has to do with overcoming is that worse or better? Overcoming the sort of fear of your own internal power or desire. So let me skim these real quick here. Let's look at the well. And I do have other cards coming down for those two. The well. Wishes, resources, creativity, and healing. Okay, if you look intently into the depth of my darkness, you may see your true thoughts reflected and your secret wishes revealed. Wow, that was insanely hard to say. Your wishes will only be granted if you dig deep and work hard. Okay. So this is, I need to work, I'm not looking deep enough into myself to pull out what it is that I really want, which is something that I talked about already. And then with this dice here, uncertainty. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel lucky. I don't know what I want. It says, alternatively, dice card can indicate an attitude of playfulness as well as fun and games, and it could be risky behavior, right? I don't know what I want, so I don't know if I want to take any risks, but it's also this idea of I'm resisting that playfulness edict that's coming down for my life purpose. So 9. I just heard you don't give me flowers anymore, or you don't bring me flowers anymore. Barbara Streisand. Or Streisand, I should pronounce it correctly. Says, I am your recovery and your well-being, but it's inverted, so we're kind of down and feeling a little bit ill. A little bit of sadness. It says the presence of the flowers signifies a valuable gift that is to be given or received. But here it's like you're not giving yourself the gift of being in your own self. But let me get some more cards. I do not give myself to me. I turn away from the truth, and I don't want this transformation. I don't want to... Every time I get into myself, my ego says I should just kill myself. That's the Queen of Swords inverted. Okay. I guess this is a double. There's only supposed to be one card there. So that was the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. This is my combined deck of Timber and in historical fashion playing cards. Another double. Dang it. Dang it, Bobby. Somebody's really chatty about their issues. Alright, so we have the Ten of Swords inverted over the well. It really hurts because... And I don't want to push the swords in any deeper. That's why I'm not going further down in there. I feel like my own depths are booby-trapped. So this could be the ego battle here. I have the Sun in Gemini, right? I'm facing off with my own dark side that has nothing to do with you at all. We have this sun in Gemini, that solar energy again. So here's the Queen of Swords upright over here, and then another 10. 10 of Cups, right? So if I turn myself around and let myself into my solar center, I give this gift to myself of my own truth and like inner knowing of myself, I will get this happiness fulfillment. Three of Cups inverted. Six of Pentacles inverted. Okay, so I'm getting 9 total. That's telling me that Neptune retrograde again. What? No, that's wrong. This is Neptune retrograde. The Hermit is Virgo inverted, which is ruled by Mercury, which also rules Gemini. So I see it as like 9, 10, and then it goes up like 9, 10, and then it immediately hits another 10. So it's like 9, 10, 20. Like I'm tipping the scales of judgment in my favor. This is all part of their task that has nothing to do with you. Three of Cups inverted, right? I'm not gonna party. I'm not willing to take the risk. Six of Pentacles, the Sun in Scorpio. So inverted, I'm getting moon energy, but also this like half a death, like half this, like halfway between this coming around from this inverted queen to the upright queen. Now, in my music deck, which is also going to be coming in this reading, the Six of Pentacles is the right garden, right? I haven't been putting my energy in the right place. I haven't been trying to manifest in the correct soil. My heart has been closed, and I haven't let myself enjoy my own self. Right? It's like I'm in this energy where I might be partying, but I'm not really happy. I might have money, but I don't feel rich because I'm not in my authentic self. So this is what they're working on that has nothing to do with you, is being able to be in their own sunlight. And I forgot the friggin' charms again. Put these back how they were. Charms. So get some charms. I think that's it. So just like it's like things aren't very charming, I guess. But over here I have the ink that slid off the thing. So there's this idea of, this to me is like life, but also has to do with past life and potentially healing, right? And so it's like I don't want to come out of my little closet until my life is perfect in some way. And here I have these lips down here, and it's giving me this idea of, like, I don't want to be affectionate to myself, but I also don't want to speak up about what I'm dealing with, which is why the Queen of Swords was coming in inverted in the first place, right? Let's see this idea of, like, loose lips sink ships. And that's how they feel, is that if they discuss what they're dealing with, it's going to just make this whole thing worse. Oh, what's going the other way here? Okay, so we have the record player going the other way. And it's this idea of, I don't want to keep, every time I try to go deeper, I get stabbed again. Every time I do this, stab, broken record, I don't want to keep doing it. But the thing is, they don't realize they can lift up the needle and set it down a little bit further, and they'll get to a better part of the song, essentially. You know, you don't have to keep reliving these past experiences. Okay, so the third issue here is, what is their purpose with you? Like what is the point of interacting with them together? Like, what is the purpose of the relationship, or the purpose of the union overall? My sign was backwards. Okay. So what am I using for this? Oh, I gotta get an overview card first. Okay. So what is the point of the relationship overall, in total? What are you doing together? Why is you the twin flame? Unexpected and silent movement, 43. So we have the Emperor and the Empress here hooking up to make the Chariot. Okay. So it's almost like all of the growth is when you're not in this, like, intense chatter. It's like it's kind of like the point of the relationship is to be kind of like a, what was that? Like a stealth bomber, or like a totally silent nuclear submarine. But it's not to attack each other, it's it's kind of like to be an example for other people by being yourselves with each other. There's this idea of there's movement forward, but you're not really explaining why your relationship is or what you're doing. You just kind of move through, and some people are gonna get it and some people aren't. Alright, so let's look into this. Alright. Okay, so I'll use this one first. I've got the Lover's Oracle. Ooh, that one went flying. It went to flying. Ah, Jesus Christ, okay. There's the solar chakra right there. I feel like this goes this way. Okay, that looks better. Oh, that's right, those don't have a thing on them. Okay. Alright. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now's the time to give to yourself. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. Okay? So the initial thing that I'm getting is that even if you're not overlapping with each other every second of every day, there's still the connection there. And when you're in your highest vibration of the Empress and the Emperor, everything is movement. Right? You don't have to make a fuss about it. It's the idea of just being present is what's important and what eventually you take with you. Right? So here's this, your person working on their solar energy. They're like, if you could do anything, what would you do? It's in your heart, not your mind. The heart is the gateway to the soul. It's like they're trying to get into their emotional content and be confident in themselves. And here it's like, instead of you're placing your focus on them and being like, what's taking them so long? It's all their fault. It's like, how can I keep my own energy up? What am I doing? How can I nurture myself so that in our sort of silent connection, this vibration comes over to them? Right, and here it mentions soul again. The gateway to the soul. And you're only taking your soul and then memories. I think it's really profound. I don't really know what to say about that, but let me flip these back over. Sort of a visual. It's sort of self-nurturing creates union nurturing, basically. But I'm using my Twin Flame Pinnacle deck. It's just, you know, the card deck that I've written DM and DF on, the cards for it. That's too many. Okay, so I'm going to keep that one. Interesting. All of these cards have the DM on them. So I have 9 of Wands here with the divine masculine energy inverted, which is like in a distortion. The moon in Sagittarius. I'm feeling passionate, but I'm also struggling in the darkness, and I feel like I've been down here forever. Like, am I done yet? What's going on? So this could be them with their solar energy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Now in here, in this taking care of your own self, we have the masculine as the King of Cups. So we have a masculine energy in balance. So it's kind of like saying when the masculine energy does actually take care of themselves, they're in balance. And it doesn't have to, no, it could be that everyone has masculine and feminine energy, but it could also be just like directly the DM in the relationship, whoever's turn it is, either this lifetime or today. Okay. But whatever happens, when both of you are nurturing yourselves, what happens is that the masculine energy goes straight into emotional balance, 14, with the background energy of 5, ready to shift. And what is he shifting? He's making movements in terms of balance, Libra energy and Scorpionic energy transformation. And it looks like he's got a headache too, but it's like he's pulling thoughts out of his head. It's like it's like the 10th sword out of the 10 of swords there. I'm going to pull these swords out of my back one by one, and this is sort of an action pose where it looks like it's in his head because he's moving his arm up around in the back. Right, I don't need to be feeling pain all the time. I can be in my truth, in my emotions. Now over here on this, you don't take nothing with you but your soul card, we have the divine masculine energy again, and this time in the Queen of Cups energy, Gemini and Cancer energy. So now we're in more of, well, it goes with the moon energy as well, because this is the moon. And then we have that duality nature, the twin energy with Gemini, which is also the Lover's card, which is 6. Now, these could be both of these cards could be 1. So we could have 911. Like, something's like our relationship is an emergency, but it could just be like, hey, the point of this relationship is to facilitate healing, right? Our energies need to go to the emergency room. Both of us need to have like an IV drip and a nap. And while we're doing that, our movement's going to be internal. But what happens is that it's almost kind of like the masculine energy is holding the key to emotional balance here. They're sort of dominating the spread a little bit. Well, let's get some charms. Try to open the box the other side. Charms really don't want to come out today. I think that's all I'm going to get. Okay. So I see this. It's going the other way. I'm not addressing something. Flashlight. All right, I'm not addressing something that's being like spotlit here, right? Like every time I try to address something, I'm running out of energy. My batteries die and I can't seem to see it. We also have the mittens here. It's like it's too hot. I'm gonna handle it with kid gloves. Or I feel cold. I feel shut out. I want to feel cozy and protected. Is that it? I swear to God there should be more. Let me see if any more will come out. Okay. I need to wake up a little bit. I need some coffee. Now over here off to the end, I have got the folded umbrella in reverse. So it's almost like I'm trying to keep myself from getting too deep into my feelings. I don't want that water coming in over me. But over here, I have this gecko. And his hand is like really grippy. Like I'm stuck like I'm stuck to my problems until I let my emotional waters kind of wash over me. I still feel like this isn't quite finished. I'm gonna get another overview card. What am I talking about? What the point of the union is? Okay, I was gonna look for this card when I saw that umbrella. It rains all the time, or it doesn't rain all the time, or I'm only happy when it rains. 89. Breaking down to 17, the start, which breaks back down to 8. Okay. So I get this idea of like when it rains, it pours. Like, I am afraid to get into my emotions because I'm afraid that I'll never get out of them. But on the same token, if I give up my resistance, all of this emotional water is going to turn out in my benefit, right? Because we have the Empress and the Emperor, and then we come back with the King and Queen in this emotional contentment, even though the sort of drive is coming from the masculine energy. I noticed that the princess was afraid of the lion at first, right? It might be that the feminine energy is a little bit scared of how much emotional content the masculine energy might have once he starts letting it out a little bit. You know, like the masculine energy might be resistant to expressing his feelings, but once he does, it might be extremely intense. But there's this potentiality for a lot of happiness here. But the purpose of the relationship is to be able to have that movement in this sort of internal world. Alright, so I'm going to change the segment here, and then we're going to do what do they want to express to you. Alright, so what do they want to express to you? What does your twin flame counterpart want to impart to you at this juncture? Oh, this makes me sad. I'm crushed by the weight of not feeling good enough. What's interesting is we have 47, so we have the Emperor number, and then the Chariot number, which breaks down to 11, which is universal timing, but also the twin flame number. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure which deck to use first. I'll use the Aquarian Tarot first. So for this, 3 rider lots. Okay. So I've got the Aquarian Tarot. So we have the Hermit, we have 9. So we have that energy again. Virgo, Mercurial energy. 3 of Pentacles. Inverted. So the Sun not the Sun. Mars in Capricorn inverted. So Mars, I think, is now retrograde in Aries. And then Saturn is still retrograde for a little bit. But we have this idea of the plans aren't working. But what's interesting is I have 9 and 3 here, which tells me 12, the Hangman, which is Neptune energy. We have 1 up and 1 down. I guess this one's in the challenge position because I just moved it. But Neptune is retrograde right now, so we do see that here as well. So the challenge is the 8 of Pentacles. So I have 8 and 3 here, that's 11. That's that twin flame number again. And look at 911, 911, right? There's something critical emergency relating to this relationship. 8 of Pentacles is about doing work. I don't want to do any work if the plans have to change. That's not fair. Like, I can only feel good enough if we do it exactly the way I had it laid out. But now you want to change it, and I have to go back into myself to try to cope with it because now I feel like you've rejected me and I'm not doing it right. 8 of Pentacles. The Sun in Virgo. Okay, that's the time we're in right now. So we have Virgo and Virgo, and then we're sandwiching Mars. Now for me, Virgo is like the inner child of the Empress. and Mars is the Emperor. We see the Emperor up here. So I see the Empress, I see the Emperor, I see movement, I don't want to work on redoing something, because it makes me feel like you're pushing me away, right? My movement feels backwards. But let's get some music cards from my music deck that I made for myself. Alright, so lay me one for the Hermit. So we have Strength, El Condor Pasa. Now 11 could be Strength, but it could also be Justice depending on the deck. But in these decks, I believe it's 8. Alright, so on 3 of Pentacles we have Judgment, which is Wisdom. A song called Wisdom. And then on the 8 of Pentacles I have the Ace of Wands inverted. Enter the circus / welcome. Right. If I have to do all this work, I'm struggling to feel like I want to put in the effort, and now I feel like my biggest desire is not there for me. But what's interesting is that this idea of having to restructure is coming in with Judgment. Now notice I have a 0, the Fool, starting something new. I have a 3 and a 2, which together makes 5, which is a shift, a pivot. But I also see 20 minus 3 is 17, which is the Star, which goes back to 8, the Strength. Right? It's also giving me a little bit of that Uranus retrograde energy. I have to alter my consciousness in order to communicate in a new way, to express this change in the foundation. Right? There might have been radiation that we had to dig out of the foundation. There might have been more water in the bedrock than we thought, and now we have to move things over a little bit. But now what's interesting is I have 9 here with an 8 over it, which is the Star here again, and I have an Ace and an 8, which could be 9 again, but I could subtract the Ace from the 8 and get the 7, or have 18, the Moon energy, which would be addressing the darkness as well. Well, here we have Strength. I'd rather be a hammer than the nail if I could. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail. The song Wisdom is about getting really knocked down by life, but like the only way to really get wisdom is by living through it, essentially. So what they're trying to express is that they're trying to muster up this inner strength in order to sort of come out and shine, because they feel like, they feel like they're being judged and weak right now. But let me get some charms. Charms are gonna come out at all. They're being really quiet today. Sometimes they'll, like, half the freaking box will fall out. Fucking pigeon, I swear to God. Is that it? Let me try the other side of the box. I think that's it. Alright, so right here on Wisdom I have the candelabra, so we have illumination. But notice it's 3. 3 of Pentacles, 3 flames. For each part of the plan that I have to rethink, there's some kind of illumination coming in. Now, I have this trash chicken over here, the pigeon. I'm never quite sure what it's doing until I get the rest of the information. Because it could be stealing your potato chips and crapping on your car, but it could be a dove of peace, it could be that lovey-dovey turtle dove, and it could be a carrier pigeon as well. It could have a message. Right, and so that might be why it's coming in here, right? They were trying to tell you something. I can't just tweet you because then everybody will see it. But I need to tell you something. Alright, what's going this way? Alright, so there's... Alright, I need to tell you something. The telephone was going the other way. Right, I don't want to call you on the phone. So maybe they're only talking to you on social media. A little birdie told me. And then going the other way, we also have the nervous system, right? My nerves are shot. I can't seem to get a handle on my energy. I can't drum up the nerve to call you. So I'm trying to be passive aggressive in my communication because I'm not feeling like you're going to accept me. So I'm kind of beating around the bush a little bit. Alright. What's the last one? Okay, so okay. So the twin flame, we have the two people. And then when they're joined, this is your higher self, right? Because you're one soul split in two. But sometimes we have like an intermediate higher self. Like here's you, and here's your higher selves, and here's the union of the soul. So sometimes there's a higher self that's separate. So we're saying, what is your higher self, the unified, or your higher selves, the middle men, the middle soul energy? What are they trying to... What do they want you both to do, right? What is your higher selves trying to get you to comprehend right now? What are they yelling at you that you need to task? Like, what's their lesson plan for the moment? You know, I wasn't so sure about these phrase cards that I made when I first made them, but I've been using them for, well, I think I made them like a month ago or something, but I've been using them in the last week or two with all these readings that I've been doing, and they're kind of kick-ass, and I like them now. A little bit of stimulation because they're all different colors, but I need a message from the higher self for the twin flame people. Give me a card, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't want 8 cards, I want 1 card. Either say nothing, or they'll spit out like 15 cards at once. Alright, so I'm getting a double here. I'm going to take it because it's less than they just gave me. Pay attention to time shifts and synchronicities, perhaps a significant time zone. So that's a side comment. Number 294. Okay, whether you know it or not, you need their guidance. Okay. 63. So we have a 9 here, and then I have 6 and 9, which is 15. Which breaks back down to 6 again. Okay. So pay attention to time shifts and synchronicities, whether you know it or not, you need their guidance. So they want you to stay in tune to what the universe is offering and not stay so focused on what's happening or not happening between you. So 9 and 6 breaks back down to 15, which breaks back down to 6 again. So we're dealing with the lovers, we're dealing with healing, we're dealing with these sort of repeating patterns of going within and being stuck, and, you know, the High Priestess number 2, trying to get some kind of psychic intuition for that Emperor number, that sort of Aries energy that's present right now. So So let's look at some explanation here. Alright, so we're gonna get the Morgan Greer first, and then I'll get the Animal Spirits. What is the higher self? I can't believe those two cards came out. This is why I like getting multiple, well, I was only gonna get one card, but it came out as a double, but that's why I like this phrase deck, because it builds sentences and paragraphs that kind of wow me a little bit in the same way that the charms do. Sometimes a couple of times the charms were really like sexy racy, and then when I was doing the Cancer reading for September, it broke me down into the stupidest fit of laughter because it gave me toilet humor and I couldn't deal with it. Alright, so what are they trying to tell you, your higher selves? What do they want you both to do? So we have the Two of Pentacles inverted. Jupiter in Capricorn. Alright, so currently Jupiter and Saturn retrograde, but they're not going to be for very long. Both of them are going to be direct by the end of the month. But here, the way that when it's invert like this, it's saying to me, like, you don't have a choice. Or there really is no choice. It's like you know what to do. With Eight of Cups. Saturn and Pisces. Okay, so Neptune is retrograde, and it's going to be at least through September. It might be through November as well. But here it's coming in upright, right? I need to walk away from that which doesn't serve me anymore. This is a no-brainer. And notice that we have 8 and 2 here, which gives that 10 a completion number, right? I need to finish this. I know that I need to get rid of my emotional baggage. Look at the Little Red Riding Hood. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You are everything that a big bad wolf would want. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. And then we have the Emperor inverted. Okay. Mars retrograde in Aries. I'm gonna be all effed up in my machinations until I realize that I just need to get rid of this energy. So let's get some animals. I see red, I see red, I see red and orange, so we're dealing with root and sacral chakra issues here. So stuff in my past and how I don't feel safe. Feels right. Alright, so we have Mouse is an earth creature, but he's ungrounded. But notice he's coming in on this Saturn retrograde, right? The earth inverted, now the earth creature is inverted. I'm not even in the right book. Look at the mouse. Ooh. There's a loon making a noise outside. It scared the shit out of me. I haven't heard one this summer. $65. Okay. Right. So it's like I haven't been able to make a choice because I've been keeping myself busy and nitpicking all the details and doing everything I can to avoid making any kind of decision. Right, I've been so busy with the little details of stuff that I might have gone too far, and now I'm just totally control freak, having a hard time letting the universe do anything for me. So in order to bring the mouse energy into balance, a meaningful project needs to happen. But the meaningful project here is getting rid of emotional baggage. So let's see what's going on with dragonfly energy. So we have an air elemental, right? So we're right away we're actively thinking about these feelings that are going away. Now I see this big triangle here, and I see blue, which could be emotional content because of water. But I see 8 and I see 3 and I see 11, that universal timing as well. I also see the 4. I see the 4 wings there, which tells me that Emperor foundational kind of energy. Where am I going? 69. Okay. So Dragonfly, master of light, illusion, and the mind. Awakening a sense of wonder. Symbol of the mind, always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing, right? So this is, I'm caught up in my head. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep busy to avoid making important decisions. Here, when I let go of my emotional baggage, my thinking becomes extremely clear. The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through, right? If you're so focused on little fucking bullshit all the time, you're going to miss all these synchronicities that you need to help you with the guidance and clear thinking. It says, for more balance, to focus on breathing. And that's going to help the emotions release from the cells in your body. All right, so let's look at the shark. So we have a water elemental. Now, which is interesting, I have earth, I have air, I have water, and then we have the Emperor fire here. Where am I? 111. Oh, interesting, the shark is on page 111, which is like a higher level of that 11 twin flame number. So the shark here. Directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire, which is what your person's sole purpose was. Something big needs to be exposed, lurking in the depths, creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we're hesitant to be honest, to be totally yourselves and say what you really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when the shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. Right? So this Emperor energy with this Mars retrograde is really, I've been saying that Mars in Aries is the last ego showdown. And with the shark coming up on it, it's saying, not only is it saying there's emotional content that's sort of, stuck to you, like you're constantly walking through your own personal pile of quicksand, but it's clogging up the mental clarity. It's keeping you from seeing these synchronicities to help you go where you want to be. So it's not saying this is only for the masculine, it's saying that everyone has these energies, and if you don't sort of fall deeper into the depths in the retrograde of this energy, that this ego energy that doesn't want to let go of any emotions and just wants to distract itself, then you're going to, you might feel the emotional baggage get tighter and tighter around your ankles. until you're sort of cut off at the knees. So what needs to happen to balance this energy here, it just says honesty, which is what's coming through here. It's like when you're true to yourself, the universe will help you even more with the guidance. But let's get some charms here. I have not made a shark charm yet. I have it written down. I have a list of about 10 or so, like a dozen charms that I need to make. One of which is I should make a donut too. I don't know why, but I need a donut. Interesting. And there's a dolphin. Okay, that's it. Alright, so way off under the camera here, I have the high-heeled shoe. Right, I need a higher perspective. But I also get this idea of, like, I get the image of someone walking around like they've got a stick up their ass. You know, like I'm sealed up like a frog's ass, watertight. Like I don't want any of my emotions seeping. Now, I also have down here the tetrahedron, if I can get it. Oh. I have no... My fingernails are not equipped for this right now. Let me slide it off the table. Alright. So I have the tetrahedron, which represents fire, which would be the emperor over here. It's also the strongest structure available in the universe. Alright? I'm building up this new foundation. I'm using the power of my mind to give myself a new platform mentally. Strong, clear mental acuity. And then I have the dolphin up here in between this emotional release and these cards telling to follow the synchronicities. So the dolphin here is representing to me of sonar. But he's also in the water, right? He's letting the resonance guide him through his emotional content. He's letting his psychic abilities tune in to the frequencies that are coming through. I'm just saying he because apparently that's what I'm doing right now. Could be a she-dolphin, it doesn't matter. What is this? Going the other way, we have the camera. So we have this idea of like, I'm not looking back. Like I don't need to take all my past with me. I'm going to have a review and a better understanding of the experiences so that I'm not just holding on to the baggage forever. I don't need a box full of 1,200 photos of my vacation to Crap Island. You know, it's like I'm going to process this information and think about it, and then I'll have this kind of experience with me so that I can move forward and know where to look in the future. Okay, so what your higher selves are trying to get you to do is stop, you know, like over analyzing everything that's happened and open up to let this true inner power come through so that you have a better idea of when to be like in line with each other, right? Like you can communicate over long distances if your sonar is up, and the universe is going to help you do that. All right, so it's all about believing in yourself, letting go of baggage, being in the truth of your own self, and realizing also that, you know, their entire life story isn't all about you, that you guys have your own purpose to go on, but you also have similar work to do in sort of releasing and being open to the universe and coming together in that way. And it's sort of like, you know, by the time you get together, there might not be so much discussion because you'll just kind of have this intuitive connection, which is where is it? Unexpected and silent movement, the Emperor and the Empress. Right, you don't hear it coming, but all of a sudden, pop, and then you got a pair of dolphins up in the water. Alright, so that's a twin flame reading for the fortnight beginning roughly on September 8th. If you find it later, that's fine. It'll be here. If you want to get a personal reading, try to get this to focus a little better. There we go. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up at thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. I do have a list of readings I offer and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, and I'll put that link in the description down below this video. The thumbnail looks like this. So if you're watching this, you're already on Patreon. Thanks so much. If you want to additionally support my work, you can hit that tip jar, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I've got merch and prints. I've got coloring books. I've got a poetry book, which is like Dark Night of the Soul kind of stuff. If you're seeing my post here with my catalog, I do have more of those chapbook packs. I've got made-to-order items. I've got singular art pieces. Once they're gone, they're gone. So you can avail yourself to those goods and services if you're so inclined. If you're enjoying this and you haven't already, you can head over to my YouTube channel and like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.